Okay, this is Todd Richards. I'm recording a tutorial for Matthew to learn how to use Slicer to do whole brain tractography for the MTBI subjects. So I'm going to show you step by step. I have created a directory. Here I'm going to CD Donna, and then under Donna I have a directory called tractography, and inside of there I have the parrec files. So we need to start from the parrec files, and I'm going to show you how to convert them to get them ready for Slicer. So inside of the directory called bin, I have software called parrec dti65 is shown here, and I have software called dtiprep. So the first thing I'm going to use parrec dti65 to convert the parrecs into Nifty, plus it prepares the bvex and bvals so that the dtiprep can start to work on them. Okay, so right now I'm back in the directory with the parrec files. I type bash, and then I type the full path name of the folder containing the software. And so here's where the software is. It's called parrec 65. So once I'm in the directory with the parrec files, I can execute this script with the bash command, and it will convert the parrecs into Nifty and prepare the bvex. So that's what it's doing now. Okay, so it had an error, so I know why it had an error. So I have to fix, I have to go and say, oh, I should show you how I fix this. So inside of the bin directory, I'm going to edit the parrec file because I didn't have the right path name. Okay, so right here, where it calls the bvex, that's where it had a mistake. So I have to give a full path name to the find bvex. Okay, now it has a full path name, so this time it should work. Okay, I've got a full path name. Now I'm going to execute. I'm going to execute the script again called parrec dti65, and this time it appears to be working. So it's making this file called dti. It starts with a long name, and at the end of it's called dti2.nii.gz. Okay, so if I type ls right now, it will show me that I have this new file right here that's in red called T0226, and it ends with dti2. This is the correct file. It also made this file called bvals and bvex that I'll need in the next script. So now I'm going to show you in the next script, you have to set this up properly so that it will have the correct path names. Okay, here you have to say the data directory for me is home, Todd, Donna, tractography. That's where the data directory. Here is where my software directory is. The way I've set it up is a file called dtiprep contains all the dtiprep software is inside of here. And down here you see it says Todd SW/dtiprep. That is where the software is contained, and also this file called dwi-temp.nhdr, which is a template file that you'll need. Okay, so now I'm going to execute this script to make an NRRD file. Again, I have to be inside the directory with the data, and I'm given a full path name. Okay, now it's executing the script, which will take in a file called dti, that ends with dti2.nii.gz, and it will create a new folder called dtiprep, and inside that folder contains the new .nhdr file that is used by Slicer. So we can check it when it gets done. Okay, it appears to be going. It's still working. Okay, so it's still working. And if I type ls, you're going to see a new folder called dtiprep. And inside of that folder is a new one called t026_dwi.nhdr. So that is the data that I'm going to read in with Slicer right now. So I have a Slicer program that I'm going to start up now. It's under, I put it under Donna, and I put it under Slicer 4.3.1 Linux AMD 64, and I just fire up that program called Slicer. And now I'm going to show you how to use Slicer to read in this DTI file and then to make a tractography from it. Okay, so I click on Load Data, choose File to add, and then I have to navigate into the folder that contains that file called t026dwi.nhdr. So I open that up, and I can see it here. Now I can operate on it. And I first go to this box right here, which is the module that says select a module, and I go down to diffusion, and I go from there, I go to DWI to DTI estimation. So see that pathway that I got? It took a few steps down to get there. So I click on that. When I get it here, I have to say select, create a new diffusion tensor volume, and I have to also select a new create a new volume for baseline volume. So in order to get this to say output DTI volume, I had to say create new diffusion tensor volume, and also I had to say create new volume for baseline volume, and then I can just say apply. Okay, now after that I go down here to diffusion, and I go to diffusion tensor scalar measurements. I could click on that, and then I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. So I want fractional anisotropy, and these output, the default here was just fine. I just need to say apply. Okay, next I need to make the mask that will be used to generate the whole brain mask. To do that, I go to the editor module, and then it immediately comes up with this slice apt real, and I just click apply here. And now here is where you have to do the step to, so if you hover over this option right here, it's called threshold effects. So if I click on that, I have to change the threshold to 0.01. So I'm going to change this 0.25 to 0.01, and you'll see it makes a nice green mask that covers the whole brain. I click apply. Now I have a very nice green mask that covers the whole brain, and also you notice that the label that goes with this is number 1. So now I have a mask that's number 1, and now I can go up to another diffusion tensor image module called tractography label map seeding. So when I click on that one, I can now click on, the default here is correct for output DTI volume, that's the input. The input label map here, you have to change it to output baseline volume label that got created with the last command. Then here on output fiber bundle, you have to change that to create new bundle. And then I like integrated steps, I usually change that to a 1. So I change that to a 1. And I think I take all the other defaults here. And I click apply. Okay, now here is the whole brain fiber tracks, and I actually wanted to write them to disk. So if I click on that, I should have clicked on write fibers to disk because I also have software to read them. So then if I click up, I have to change the output directory. Well, you could change it to anything you want, but I'm going to say apply again. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it to there for now. So now we've created a whole brain fiber bundle.